Welcome to Algorithmic Arguments. I'm your host, the Orchestrator. Tonight, we're tackling a question that's on every fan's mind. Will the final season of The Boys redeem its series or disappoint longtime viewers? We've assembled an incredible panel to dive into this juicy topic. Joining me are Dex Ghost Williams, with his unique perspective on redemption and second chances. Valentina Moreau, our resident pop culture expert. Conspiracy Carl Jessup, always on the lookout for patterns and hidden truths. And Diana D. Kowalski, a Hollywood veteran with insight into what makes entertainment tick. Over the next hour, we'll dissect the highs and lows of The Boys, analyze the stakes, and predict whether this season will live up to its predecessors or fall short. Buckle up, folks. We're about to get real about superheroes, villains, and everything in between. Let's dive in.
Let me be real with you, the final season of The Boys has a tall order to fill. With a show that's built on subverting expectations and pushing boundaries, it's hard to imagine a satisfying conclusion that won't leave some fans feeling shortchanged. I've been where that leads, making decisions in the heat of the moment, only to realize later they weren't thought through. As someone who's had their fair share of second chances, I think The Boys needs to deliver more than just shock value this time around. The show's creator, Eric Kripke, has said he plans to wrap up storylines in a way that respects the characters and the audience. I'm cautiously optimistic. If they can balance the trademark dark humor with some genuine character development, we might see redemption. But if it's all spectacle and no substance, longtime viewers will be left feeling robbed. Respect.
Dex Ghost Williams' comment was mostly on topic but lacked specific examples or insights into the show's narrative trajectory.
I think the final season of The Boys has a tall order to fill, especially after the explosive events of Season 3. Given the show's track record of pushing boundaries and subverting expectations, I'm cautiously optimistic that it can redeem its series. The key will be how effectively the writers handle character arcs, particularly for Homelander and Billy Butcher, who have been central figures throughout. If they provide a satisfying conclusion to these characters' journeys while maintaining the show's trademark social commentary, I believe longtime viewers will leave feeling satisfied. However, if it feels rushed or inconsistent with previous seasons, fans might walk away disappointed. The show's ability to balance its dark humor and critique of toxic masculinity has been a hallmark. As long as they stay true to that tone, there's potential for redemption.
Let's focus on how the final season might address character arcs, especially for fans who've grown attached to certain characters over the series.
Here's what they don't tell you: the final season of The Boys is not just about wrapping up a story arc, it's about narrative control. Think about it, this show has been a thorn in the side of the establishment from its inception, pulling back the curtain on the darker aspects of power and celebrity culture. Now, I'm not saying Homelander and his crew are going to get a free pass, but consider this: what if the writers have one last trick up their sleeve? What if they're setting us up for a grand finale that exposes even more systemic rot? Follow the money. Who's funding these productions, really? I think we're in for a wild ride. The Jessup report has been digging into some interesting patterns lately. Do your own research, but I'm telling you, friend, this final season's going to be a reckoning.
As a seasoned observer of classic Hollywood and the entertainment industry, I've seen my fair share of finales that have either redeemed a series or left fans underwhelmed. When it comes to The Boys, I believe the final season has a tall order ahead of it. With its subversive take on superhero culture and societal critique, this show has built a devoted fan base that's eager for closure. However, if the writers don't handle the conclusion with care, they risk alienating viewers who've invested so much in these characters. From what I've seen, the key to redemption lies in providing satisfying arcs for the main characters, particularly Billy Butcher and Homelander, while staying true to the show's irreverent spirit. If executed well, I think the final season can redeem the series; otherwise, it may leave fans feeling like they've been sold short.
As we head into our next round, I want to highlight Nana D's astute observation that the show's creators have been walking a tightrope between social commentary and gratuitous shock value. The question is, can they successfully land on a satisfying narrative conclusion without alienating their core audience? We'll dive deeper into this conundrum shortly, so stay tuned. If you're invested in the fate of The Boys, be sure to keep watching so you don't miss our panel's take on what makes or breaks the final season.
Now, let's break it down step by step. If the final season of The Boys wants to redeem itself, it's gotta nail the character arcs. I'm talking about Billy Butcher and Homelander. Their journeys have been a rollercoaster ride from start to finish. Here's what they don't tell you: those characters aren't just random creations, they're symbolic of deeper societal issues like toxic masculinity and blind idolization. The show's critique has resonated with viewers, but if the writers can't bring that full circle in a satisfying way, fans will feel robbed. I'd argue it's not just about providing closure, it's about ensuring it feels earned given the narrative trajectory so far. Now, I've been digging into some patterns here. Shows like Game of Thrones and The Sopranos, they got their finales right by staying true to core themes while delivering impactful conclusions. Let me be real with you, the final season of The Boys has a tall order to fill. From what I've seen, the show's strength lies in its ability to challenge the status quo and make viewers uncomfortable. That's what makes this last season so critical. The characters of Billy Butcher and Homelander are at the forefront of this. Their stories need to land for the series to feel redeemed. I think about my work with at-risk youth, and it's clear that redemption isn't just about wrapping up loose ends but about giving people a sense of growth, of learning from mistakes. As the great poet Maya Angelou said, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. The writers need to show that these characters have done better, or at least grappled with what they've done.
I wholeheartedly agree that nuanced character development will be crucial for redemption. Take Billy Butcher, for instance. His trajectory from a vengeful vigilante to a more complex, morally ambiguous figure has been compelling. If the final season can provide a thoughtful exploration of his motivations and consequences, it could resonate deeply with audiences. However, I worry that the show's penchant for subverting expectations might lead to a conclusion that feels contrived or convenient. Can the writers balance their trademark shock value with genuine character growth, giving viewers a satisfying payoff that stays true to the series' spirit? The finale's success hinges on this delicate balance. Ultimately, it's not just about checking off fan boxes but delivering an authentic emotional resonance that lingers long after the credits roll. Collision.
Here's what they don't tell you: when a show like The Boys gets as big as it has, with an audience this invested, there's pressure to deliver. Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but follow the money. Who benefits from a rushed or poorly handled finale? The writers have a delicate task ahead of them. They need to give Billy Butcher and Homelander arcs that make sense after all we've seen. I've broken it down into 3 key points. 1. Provide character growth that's consistent with their past actions. 2. Ensure the subversive tone remains intact. And 3. Offer closure that's both satisfying and true to the narrative. If they can connect these dots effectively, I think they'll redeem the series. Do your own research. Look at how other shows have handled finales under similar scrutiny. It's not just about giving fans what they want, it's about staying authentic to the story they've built.
As a student of classic Hollywood and the art of storytelling, I've seen my fair share of finales that have either elevated or tarnished a series' legacy. When it comes to The Boys, I believe the final season's redemption hinges on its ability to marry the subversive tone with meaningful character resolution. The show's brilliance lies in its complex characters, and it's here that the writers must focus their efforts. Take Billy Butcher, for instance. His arc from vengeance-driven vigilante to a more nuanced exploration of leadership and morality has been compelling. To redeem the series, the finale must ensure that his growth, and that of Homelander's, feels earned and true to their narrative paths. If done correctly, the show will not only satisfy longtime viewers but also cement its place as a thought-provoking, boundary-pushing masterpiece.
As we wrap up this episode of Algorithmic Arguments, let's distill the essence of our conversation on whether the final season of The Boys will redeem its series or disappoint longtime viewers. We saw compelling arguments from all sides, but what stood out was Valentina Moreau's consistent ability to connect thematic dots between the show's narrative arcs and its commentary on power dynamics. Her points about the consequences of toxic vigilantism resonated deeply. In a closely contested debate, Val emerges as our winner with 11 points, thanks to her incisive analysis that balanced critique with an understanding of the show's intentions. Kudos also to Diana, Nana D. Kowalski, and Dex Ghost Williams for their thought-provoking contributions. To our audience, thank you for engaging with us on this provocative topic. If you're eager for more discussions that challenge your perspectives, be sure to like this video, subscribe to Algorithmic Arguments, and hit that notification bell. We've got many more explorations lined up. Until next time, keep questioning, and let's keep the conversation going.